Greetings and welcome, family, to Moorish Monday. Yes, pardon the delay. I had to do some suds busting. So we're going to bring on our brother, Abdullah Bey. You ready, brother? Unmute your phone. Your mic. I am in me. I am in Brother Abdullah. I am in you, the listening audience. We individually and collectively come together to glorify
All right.
our I am, I self, Lord, am master. I am before everything ever was. I am, is, and I am will ever be. And you in me. And we fulfill our destiny as amplification of the crystal electromagnetic biochemical fire that radiates from our hearts. And we ask in this dojo of the prison planet chicken farm, what we call Earth, we call on our ascended masters, Seraphis Bey. We call on Prophet Noble Drew Ali to rest your hands on our shoulders. We call on Gatekeeper of Northern California, entrance into the hollow earth, Saint Germain, Sheikh Amadou Bamba, ascended master of Africa, who flew through the air, bulletproof, hungry lion proof, even bonfire proof, walked on water, wrote 7 tons of prayers, founded the city of Tuba. We thank you,
279.
Amadou Bamba, and we invite you to be on the platform. The latest Christ born in the Congo, Simeon Toko, who allowed the occupational terrorists to chop his physical body up between 15 and 20 times, and he would reassemble, showing the power of love. He invoked an army of muscle-bound, bulletproof angels, and turned over the Belgium tanks and our heavy artillery and chased them out of the Congo. We asked Simeon Toko to be on this platform. Melchizedek, Yahshua, Black Madonna, Mother Mary, Marcus Mosiah, Garvey, Prophet Noble Drew Ali, we said that, okay. Honorable Elijah Muhammad, El Haj Malik El Shabazz, P.B. Randolph, Dr. George Washington Carver, Dr. Sabi, Dr. Kalindi Aye, Frederick Douglass, Booker T. Washington, the Warriors, Chief Osceola, Chief Geronimo, Chief Crazy Horse, Chief Sitting Bull, Chief Seattle, Harriet Tubman, Mary McLeod Bethune, South African Zulu Shaman Credo Mutwa, Imhotep, Ptahotep, Akhenaten. We call on Tahuti, also known as Thoth, Ratah, Quetzalcoatl, White Buffalo Calf Woman. We call on Ascended Masters of Atlantis, Ascended Masters of Lemuria. We call on Ascended Masters from the Dogon star systems. We call on for a planetary coup to put the golden touch of enlightenment upon the grassroots population and the cross-eyed world leaders, known and unknown, seen and unseen, human and non-human. We're calling for a galactic intervention on a planetary coup to elevate everyone to a state of Buddhas, Lady Buddhas, Krishnas, Lady Krishnas. We call on the forces of nature within us. Elegba, Oshun, Yemaya, Ologun, Shango, Ogun, Obatala, Wachosi. We ask in the spirit of all we are, I am, in Ubuntu, that this show be anointed for the elevation, activation, transmutation of all who listen now and in the future. Ashe, Mahalo, Donada, Wado, Amen, Amen. Brother, you got the platform.
All right. Thank you. Welcome, y'all, to Moorish Monday. This is my seventh Moorish Monday. I want to thank Brother Hank for this platform. Upcoming, to get my books, Moors and Masonry, and my other books, you go to moorsandmasonry.org. The Moroccan Post School of Government and International Law have free courses. on the Moroccan Post Media YouTube page. That is the Moorish Treaty Protection of Constellations 101, Moorish Treaty Protection of Constellations 201, Moorish Body Politic Formation, Constitution, and Governmental Principle, which embodies 12 classes. The Moorish Treaty Protection of Constellations embodies about 16 classes. We have also a host of other seminars and classes. These are PowerPoint. They were recorded. They were actually live classes and recorded and uploaded on our Moroccan Post Media YouTube page. So visit the page. We'll put up a flyer later on the upcoming conference on May 18th in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. The Moorish American Governance Birthright Claim Conference on May 18th from 10:30 a.m. to midnight. We have a host of keynote speakers and panelists from NGOs, African unions, other international organizations, Moorish Masonic rights organizations, and large community outreach. So looking forward, about 25 keynote speakers and panelists. So I'm definitely looking forward to this upcoming conference on May 18th in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. On the Abdullah Bay Facebook page, the flyer and the Eventbrite link is pinned. The event is $125. It includes lunch and dinner, as well as the Moorish Ball. We also will have, looking forward to, it'll also be broadcast live, pay-per-view and Roku. That will be available next month for purchase, the pay-per-view event, right? So we'll be broadcast worldwide. Yes, I am excited about today's topic. All right, so let's get right to it. Later, Brother Hank will show the flyer towards the end of the conference. All right, topic. Does Moor refer to skin color or nationality? Does Moor refer to skin color or nationality, national identity, or of a people? How Moorish power from the 700s to the 1800s will give us the answer. Let's look at that. How Moorish power from the 700s to the 1800s will give us an answer. It's been, there are some scholars who teach that Moor means black, and therefore conveying the concept that Moor is merely a complexion of a people. So we're going to look at that. Is Moor just a mere complexion of a people, describing the complexion of their skin, or is the nationality and national name of a people? This is very important to understand the difference. And so we're gonna delve into that last week, because this ties into what I presented last week, from Moor to black Moor to Blackamoor to black. And I showed you with the PowerPoint presentation the documentary evidence in the Geneva 1560 Geneva Bible. Thank you, Brother Hank. We have the flyer up there. We have the flyer up there for those to view. Let's look at this while it's up here. Coming May 18th, 2024 in Philadelphia, the Moorish American Governance, Birthright, and Nationality Claim Conference, Political Unity. So we see here last week, I presented from Moor to Blackmoor to Blackamoor to black. And so the 1956 Geneva Bible, you'll see here the spelling of Blackmoor. And just a review from last week, black is spelled with a lowercase b, B-L-A-C-K-E, and Moor is spelled with a capital M, O-R-E. So I'm pointing that out, because our people just simply go by that and not analyze what they're reading. They'll just simply read it and not without analysis, and not put the attention on the fact that Moor is a capital M and black is lowercase b. So we have here in the 1599 Geneva Bible, Black Moor. Notice that black is spelled with a lowercase b and Moor is spelled with a capital M. Notice that they are separated. Black Moor in the 1560 Geneva Bible is separated in the 1599 Geneva Bible. Now, getting in the early 1600s, they placed black and Moor together and placed the letter A between them. Black or Moor. So in that structure, as I said last week, black or Moor is not easily identifiable, because Moor is not capitalized and black or Moor, and both words are placed together. So this is, as I mentioned last week, that this is part of this systematic dumb down, systematic burial of the Moorish history and Moorish nationality. So looking at Moorish power, you don't see images like this. You do not see images like this. You see shadows and light up. Oh, there we go. What images do you see? You see the reverse. You see our people being chained by Europeans. And our people, Europeans are called white people in the general public today. But you don't see pictures like this. Why not? This depicts a major aspect of history that is well researched, but is not known to the general public. This is not little, this is well researched. I have over almost 100 books in Moors and Masonry Part 1. So there are scholars, because this is their history. So why wouldn't they write about this? This is their history. This affects them. So this is more a skin color or a nationality of a people. Let's look at Robert Davis' statement here. The enslavement of Europeans doesn't fit the general theme of European world conquest and colonization that is central to scholarship on the early modern era. Robert Davis, a professor of Italian Renaissance history, Ohio State University. What does that mean to you? Let's analyze this. Let's break this apart. Analyze means to Anna, all right, means up. Lies means loosen. So we're going to loosen it up, all right? The enslavement of who? Europeans. What doesn't fit? Doesn't fit what? The general theme of European world conquest and colonization. So let's look at that. The general theme. So what's taught in the school? All right. In history class, you learn about the age of exploration. This Christopher Columbus discovered America. And then in the early 1500s, throughout the 1500s, you have the age of exploration. Portuguese exploration. You have the Spanish exploration, French exploration, Dutch exploration, English exploration, this, and that's what's presented in the textbook. So what he's saying is what's taught in the schools, in elementary schools, middle schools, and the college level, is this theme of European conquest and colonization. The Moors are not mentioned at all. The Turks are not mentioned at all. This European enslavement, Moors enslaving Europeans, are not mentioned at all in the textbooks. So this Moors enslaving Europeans doesn't fit. This general theme doesn't fit what's been taught for generations in the textbooks, history textbooks. And that's what he means. That is central to the scholarship on the early modern era. So what does that mean? That is central. Well, that is a central focus of the teachings. This European world domination and power, and not mentioning the Moroccan Empire and the Ottoman Empire and dynasty. Not mentioning at all the Moorish enslavement and Turkish enslavement of Europeans. In fact, when there's writings about the Atlantic worldview, you have authors who write about the Atlantic worldview, and when they mention the Moors, it's one line, 2 lines, 3, but there's no extensive writing for some authors. Now I've said before, I have over 100 books referencing Moors and Masonry Part 1. So there are authors who have done extensive research and writings, and they teach at prestigious universities. However, they're not part of the mainstream. So this central thought, the central doesn't fit the general theme of European world conquest and colonization. That is central to scholarship. So that is central to their continuing to control. What would this information enable us to do? What about what have Moors classified as Black, Negro, colored, and African American been taught? That they are descendants of people who were transported by the Dutch, the French, the Portuguese, the English, during what they call the transatlantic slave trade during the 15th, 16th, 1700s. The claim is 12 million were transported out of the continent of Africa and transported to North, Central, South America and join the islands. So this implanting this false narrative that we came from somewhere else, which means that we're not native to this land. We're not autochthonous, native, original, aboriginal to the land. So therefore, we're not with that mentality. We don't fight for the reclaiming of the land. We don't march about reclaim the land, return the land to the Moors, return the land. We hear protests about that. You don't hear Moors classified as Black, Negro, colored, and African American protesting about return the land. Discrimination, prejudice, but not return the land. Not that we're not black. They don't argue for, they don't push for human rights violation dealing with denationalization of them. That's not part of the argument at all. Let's continue. Analyzing the transatlantic slave trade claim in the context of Moorish power during the 15, 16, and 1700s. Morocco and the Moors captured millions of Europeans between the 1200s and 1800s. All right. You ever heard of an order called the Mercedarian? 1238, established in 1218, established in France. What about the Trinitarian, established in the Mercedarian, established in Spain, and the Trinitarian established in France? In 1198, the Trinitarian. These are captivity orders, ransoming and captivity orders that raised funding to pay the ransom for Europeans who could not afford, whose family could not afford to get their loved ones out of Moorish captivity. This was a major issue. And both of these orders were established by priests, and eventually they got state funding. This was major. Why is it this general theme again? This doesn't fit the general theme of European world conquest. You know, because we're in this inferior, victimized mentality that people have. They did this to us. They did this to us. You know, like, and next month, what they call Black History Month, you're not going to have all these different lectures that's going to go on throughout the country. You're not going to talk about our power, our rulership period. It's the first Black so-and-so in 1950. The first Black so-and-so in 1970. This was the first Black to do this in 1940. This was the first Black to do this, and that's all throughout the month. In 1940, the first Black in 1940. What about 1,000 years ago? No discussion. 5,000 years ago? 2,000? Can I get 700 years ago? First Black, 1960? See that mindset? It's all next month now. And we clap and we proud. Wow. Wow, we did something. We is somebody. Wow, 1960, we did that. Whoa. 1940, we did that. Wow. So let's go back now. Let's look at the topic again. We're looking at how do we know that we're Moors, Abdullah? How do we know that we're Moors, Abdullah? Does Moor refer to skin color or nationality, national identity of a people? How Moorish power from the 700s to the 1800s will give us the answer. How do you know we're Moors, Abdullah? European kingdoms paid annual tribute to Moroccan Empire and the Moors to pass the high seas without molestation. the same European powers, European kingdoms who claim to have transported millions of us, over 12 million of us, out of the continent of Africa to North America, Central America, South America, and the Joint Islands. These same European powers, Portugal, Spain, France, the Netherlands, the Dutch Republic, England / Great Britain, had treaties with the Moroccan Empire. And the treaties were dealt with tribute treaties for protection. Pay us tribute to end the molestation of their ships. So once you put in Moorish power, the masses of people are not aware of this. What they know is the narrative that's taught in the schools. They know nothing of Moorish power. Continuing. The names Morocco and Moor were predominant among European kingdoms between the 1200s and 1800s. And we can go even back to 700s. The name Morocco and the Moors were the dominant, even going back as far back as the 700s. We're talking about diplomatic correspondences with these different European powers. You have in the National Archives, Admiralty and War Records of Spain and France and Portugal, the Netherlands, the Dutch Republic. You have their documentation is available. Once you know who you are, and I provided Moors and Masonry as a roadmap for further research into archival records and historical societies in Spain and Portugal and France and England, Sweden, Ireland. So this is a major part of history that's not known to the general public. Let me read. I'm going to read some of these passages here, and out of Moors and Masonry, part 1. All right. I'm reading from those who have my book, page 167. Between 1613 and 1618, however, at least 120 French became captives in Morocco, whose Sultan rebuffed peace proposal carried by the provincial nobleman and the Norman Knight of Malta. Relations with the Ottoman regencies did not fare much better. In Tripoli, a brief consular absence might have provided the initial pretext for slave taking 150 from 1610 to 1612. But nowhere across the Barbary states could diplomats establish or enforce an effective roadmap for release. A second Franco-Tunisian accord negotiated in 1612 resulted in only a partial slave exchange and recriminalization that the Missile emissary cared more about exporting Arabian horses than saving French lives. Persistent ambushes afterwards brought renewed protests about merchandise pilfered, husbands, brothers, and cousins captured, and small children or cabin boys trimmed by force. With nearly 400 Frenchmen in chains, once again, let's show this image. With nearly 400 Frenchmen in chains in Tunis by 1615, and another 50 just captured in Tripoli, Massoud financed yet another offensive that the next year yielded new provisions for curbing conversions rates and swapping slaves. The frequent assault of the 1620s resulted in an upward of 1,000 French subjects in chains across Algiers, Tunis, Tripoli, and Morocco. Since the vast majority of captives had encountered corsairs on open water, and only the rare women traveled aboard ships, they tended to be seafaring men. In December 1622, quote, the poor, afflicted, and unfortunate captives, end quote, held in Moroccan capital of Marrakesh, addressed Louis XIII by letter, in meticulous handwriting and florid prose, remonstrating very humbly with all possible honor, respect, obedience, and fidelity due to his very Christian and sacred majesty. The captives laid out their claims for deliverance. All right, so this is from Gillian Weiss, Captives and Corsairs, France and Slavery in the Early Modern Mediterranean. Continuing here. So this want to give you a taste of this. Continuing. Weiss shows how Moroccan sultans, beys, kings, municipal leaders, and diplomats responded to slavery and fostered the relationship between France and Morocco. Weiss used a wealth of resources to study the piratical, diplomatic, and military engagement between France and the Moroccan Empire from 1550 to 1830. Look at how from 1550 to 1830. You're looking at 330 years right there. She used archival and printed sources, including newspapers, accounts, novels, plays, paintings, correspondence among diplomats in Bissau, and North Africa. Masses of administrative correspondence among French officials in North Africa, Bissau, and in Bissau, and other port towns. She also had at her disposal voluminous printed output of the friar that were devoted to redeeming captives. It's important that I've read that so you can see the information is available. Documentary evidence is available. It's that people don't know who they are. We're in this mindset of the victim, powerless. When the discussion about our first encountering Europeans is that we were in position of being powerless. African kings sold, Africans to the Europeans. This position of powerless, being powerless, being inferior to the Europeans. And even in the textbooks, the Europeans paint us, whenever any images or any writings about us and the Europeans, they're in the position of power. They're either, having a gun over us, on us, they're whipping us, we're protesting, they lynching us. But that's deliberate though. Don't let them know their power. Don't let them know their power. What did Robert Davis say again? The enslavement of Europeans doesn't fit the general theme of European world conquest and colonization that is central to scholarship on the early modern era. What is the topic? What is the topic, y'all? Is more a skin color or a nationality and national identity of a people? How does Moorish power during the 700s, between the 700 and 1800s, give us the answer? This, once again, the name Moor and Morocco were predominant among France, Sweden, Ireland, the Dutch Republic, the Netherlands, England, Great Britain, Scotland, Portugal, Spain, Aragon, Castile. Predominant from 700s, 800s, 900s, all throughout the 1800s. But nobody knows about the Moors. This tremendous power, capturing millions of Europeans and holding them for ransom, but nobody knows about the Moors. Moor? Who? Moron? You say moron? Now, we're black folks. Look at me. See, look. We're black. See? Look at me. Look at me. Look at me. We talked about this last week. Carl Linnaeus, Francois Benaire, Johann Friedrich Blumenbach, Nouvelle Division de la Torre, New Division of the Earth. Francois Benaire, 1680s. So this concept, so we tying last week to today. So build up your knowledge, be building up your knowledge base. It's all relative. So this false narrative of I am black, look at me. If you were to ask anyone that looks like me, just random, how do you know you're black? What are you talking about, Willis? Isn't it obvious? Huh? They're gonna be perplexed. Like, they're gonna be perplexed. Like, what do you mean? Like, look at me. Look at me. See? Let me talk. See that false? That's Francois Benaire. That false race paradigm has captured our minds and therefore walked us out of our birthright, walked us out of our land right claims, walked us out of our treaty protection claims, walked us out of the claim to restore our Moroccan Empire, walk us out of our pre-existing Moorish power. So how do we know? Continue right along. They want to put in any questions in the chat. Any questions? Put questions. Put your questions in the. Type your questions in. Type your questions in. All right. So this is very important here. The Ottoman Empire. So let's look at here. 16th capitulation, 1604 captive exchange offers.
Okay,
Yes.
Brother Abdullah, I'm gonna jump in,
Yes.
and this is always this is a question.
Yes.
How did the history ball get dropped to change Moors back to Negroes from Africa? How did that happen? How did that seduction happen?
How did the history ball get dropped to change Moors from Africa? Say that again, Hank. Come back on.
How did the ball get dropped to change the Moors that were masters of the waters and
Yes.
landlords of the land? How did that ball get dropped and reduced and bamboozled to say you're an import and you should just be lucky to be alive?
All right. That's a great question. Well, I've asked that question as often asked. I mean, I question this over the past like almost 30 years. I've been asked that question quite often. Now you look at the Moorish dynasty, and I'll give you solid reference points. The Moorish dynastic power that ruled Europe for 700 years. We had Moorish dynasties, which means the dynasty is the period of time of a ruling family, of a house. So a dynasty, is a house that is empowered for 200, 300, 400 years. Well, there were 4 or 5 Moorish dynasties: the Umayyad dynasty, the Almovad dynasty, the Almohad dynasty, and those dynasties did not work together. Those dynasties overtook, the reign of power from the ruling dynasty. The Europeans watched what they did in launching the Crusades against the Moors in 1080. They united their forces, they united their resources, worked together, put funding into establishing night orders. They worked together for a common cause. That's a common cause to work together to bring down the Moroccan Empire, as well as the Ottoman dynasty, what they known as the Ottoman Empire. They worked together. We didn't work together. So that's how the ball got dropped. Because they band together. When they came to us, they fought each other. Yes, they did. But when it came to us, they band together. Because they had the common interest was to gain control of trade routes, to gain control of the seas, to reduce the tariff, to end the tribute payments, because they were all paying tribute to us. The Moors. So to expand their commerce, so those treaties are very important because those treaties, those Moorish treaties with the various European powers allow the European powers to expand their commerce and trade. So you have people make claims that they'll claim is, well, those treaties are old. Well, what's their intended meaning, Abdullah? Well, of course they're old. I mean, 1500s. I guess, I mean, old is relative, but I mean, you would say they're old. I would agree. They're old. 1600s, they're old. But what do they really, what's their intended meaning? We know what they're saying. They say they're old. But what's their intended meaning? What's their intended meaning? Their intended meaning is that they're not relevant to today. So that's why it's a waste of time, Abdullah, to study them. Those treaties allow those European powers to expand their trade and commerce. Those treaties would protect us today. Abdullah, can you give us more evidence? No problem. The 1952 case between France and the United States, this in the International Court of Justice. This is a most favored nation case. The most favored nation clause deals with, the what nation state would fall under the reduction of tariffs and taxes, and so they would be given the most favored nation, treatment. Now, in 1952, France took the United States to court, World Court, and International Court of Justice. France used those old, irrelevant, don't mean anything today treaties and won her case. France took those old Moorish treaties that don't mean anything today, outdated toilet paper today treaties, and won her case. And I'm saying it this way to raise attention. They're not toilet paper. They're not irrelevant. There were three types of treaties that was used to determine the extent of United States extraterritorial coastal jurisdiction in Morocco. The first type of treaties were the primary treaties, the Moorish bilateral treaties with France, Belgium, England, Portugal, United States, Dutch, Sardinia, between 1631 and 1892. Between 1631 and 1892. The second type of treaties that were used were two bilateral treaties. That's the Treaty to Protect Morocco 1880 and the Act of Algeciras 1907. And the third type of treaty is the Fez Treaty 1912. But the first one is the major one, the Moorish bilateral treaty between 1631 and 1892. France won her case on these old Moorish treaties. That's a stare decisis the case in the International Court of Justice. Moors can use that case in world court. It's the stare decisis case. It's res judicata. Moorish power. So Moorish power. You have to know Moorish power. How do we know we're Moors? Go to Moorish power. direct the people to Moorish power. Last week, I gave you the PowerPoint presentation on Blackamoor and Blackmore and Blackamoor. So that today is, how do we know we Moors? We're furthering by looking at Moorish power. Continuing. The European kingdoms paid ransom to Morocco and the Moors to release. We talked about that. Blackamoor was used synonymously with Negro and Ethiopian for 300 years between the 15 and 1800s. This is discussed last week. So this is another point of analysis. We have another point here. European Emperor Morocco negotiated treaties with European kingdoms during the 15, 16, and 1700s. Queen Elizabeth I negotiated the Treaty of 1580, the Commerce Treaty between Morocco and England. And Europe and Ismail Emperor of Morocco, Ahmad Murad, had extensive diplomatic relations with Queen Elizabeth. Many correspondence for a period of 20 years. Queen Elizabeth was less tolerant, she was not as stern when it came to Moors holding Europeans in captivity. And so her successor, King James I, when he ascended the throne in 1603, he's like, oh no, I gotta put the hammer down. We have to have a stronger approach in addressing the Moorish enslavement of English men and those English subjects. He thought Queen Elizabeth I was too soft when it came to this matter of Europeans held in Moorish captivity. So I know that through study. That's Moorish power. How do we know we Moors? Place us back into more history and let's look at this Blackmore and Blackamoor. Today, our people think they're black. And we talked about why that's the case. Any questions? We have about 5 to 6 more minutes. Any questions? So what we'll do is
okay, I'm gonna put up that other flyer you got
Yes.
there, the one that you sent me, which is
the one
right
you had
here.
up already.
No, what's this one about?
No, that we did that. This was Saturday. That was
Oh.
Saturday. Yeah. Yes.
So get rid of that.
Yes.
Okay. So, family, those watching now and those watching in the future, again, this is the event that's happening.
This is the event. Yes.
Go ahead and tell them what's happening, bro.
All right. So you look at the flyer. We have, as I said before, we have about 25 keynote speakers and panelists with United Nations affiliations, African Union affiliations, NGO affiliation, and other international organizations, connections, Masonic Moorish rights, and large community outreach and network affiliations. This deals with political unity, an issue of restoring national political unity among the Moors so that we can address the centuries of European conquest and colonization of our Moorish land. So we need a Moorish national political structure. And so this conference is part of facilitating the Shir Malachi base plan, which is to facilitate a national Moorish political governing structure so that we can, through political legitimacy, be a voice for our people, both conscious Moors and unconscious Moors, in the international, in the family of nations, as well as the International Court of Justice, World Court, where we could address the centuries of mass denationalization of people being classified by Spain as Negroes, Great Britain as Black and Indian, France as Noor, which is Black and French. So this has been going on. This mass denationalization is the dehumanizing. Let's look at this Article 1. Article 15, Section 1 of the United Nations Universal Declaration of Human Rights states, everyone has a right to a nationality. Principle 3 of the United Nations Declaration of the Rights of the Child states, the child shall be entitled to a name and nationality. UNESCO proclaimed 1979 as the International Year of the Child. So why do our people think they're Black? Why isn't this push, this principle that is supported by United Nations, the right, every child has a right to a nationality? Black's not a nationality. Negro, colored, African American are not nationalities. And I know because of this Carl Linnaeus, Francois Bernier, Carl Linnaeus, Johann Friedrich Blumenbach, this paradigm thinking people are based in the skin tone. That's pushed so well. This, what does it matter that you call yourself a Moor? So what we have to do is that for us conscious Moors is through political unity, is to show our people that it does matter. We have to show them that it does matter. We have to show them that the protection is there for our people. The Treaty of Granada, 1491, November 25th. The Treaty of Granada, the last Moorish stronghold, the last Moorish ruler in Europe, Abu Muhammad, signed the surrendering Treaty of Granada, and in that treaty protects the Moors' personal rights. So what Philip II did was classify the Moors as Spanish, therefore walking the Moors out of that treaty protection. We have to show our people that the nationality matters. So if they don't see any difference in treatment among conscious Moors, why bother? We got to keep it real. Why bother? So we need our national political unity. We need a different direction, take this Moorish movement in a different direction of national political unity and addressing our claims in world court. All right, so this conference is part of facilitating that process. So trust to see you there in Philadelphia on May 18th, 2024 at Majestic Hall, 800 West Alney Avenue, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, 19120. For more information, contact Matakuvu Ali Ilbay. All right. We have. So thank you again for Islam Day before. Soon return. Yes, it is. It's I think the same day. Or is it? I think it's the same day. They're gonna. Well, anyway, for my books, you go to moorishandmasonry.org. Islam, Moors and Masonry Supreme Honors. All right, Islam. Go to moorishandmasonry.org for Moors and Masonry Part 1, Moors and Masonry Part 2, How Her Venus and Moon Rule, Etymology and Vocabulary. Etymology and Vocabulary is something that you want. The Masonic Compass Square and the connection of measurement and timekeeping. Also, go to the Moroccan Post Media YouTube page for the Moroccan Post School of Government and International Law free courses. All right. And there are other videos on this YouTube page here. Magnets, crystals, pyramids, YouTube. So definitely, if you haven't subscribed to this page, do so. Like the videos, share the other videos. Like this is my 7th one, but Brother Hank has brought in other dynamic speakers.
Oh, yeah, I want to share with everybody who hasn't joined already. Here's the I Am Magic 2024 WhatsApp group that you're welcome to join using the QR code. And we have the Healing Amethyst Pool Party gathering on Tuesdays, which you'll see is a virtual reality visualization of quantum healing that we're going to be doing tomorrow. Also on Thursday, we're going to have Sister Ella speaking of the Haitian Revolution and the spirituality of IT. I hope I said it right. Yeah. Here. Somebody done started something, man. How you gonna come back on this one, Abdullah? Everybody claiming Moorish still in jail, captive.
All right. Well, the one everybody. All right. Well, that's a false claim because not everybody.
That's a hell of a thing to say. Everybody. That's a very powerful word.
And everybody. So I want to stay on that because I got it because that's how it's written. He says everybody.
Yeah, everybody.
So
break that down, man. Do your thing with what does that mean when somebody?
Well, when he says everybody, so that would include me. That would include me. So I would be included into everybody. That would include others whom he knows. That would include everybody. And he doesn't mean that. So all right. I mean, let's address. He doesn't mean to say everybody. That's said. So when somebody says everybody, they don't mean everybody. All right, because that's not knowing the language, and that we just used to saying things loosely, everybody, Of course, he doesn't mean everybody because I'm standing right, I'm talking, I'm here on the shows. So of course he doesn't mean everybody. So so he's taking a shot, which is fine. He's taking a shot. Oh, what's the point, Abdullah? What's the point? That's what he's asking. This pretty much he's saying that's really what's his intended mean. Let me address that. What's the point, Abdullah? Everybody's in jail and they claim to be Moors. What's the point, Abdullah? Where's the protection, Abdullah? What is it going to do for Abdullah? Because everybody in jail is claiming to be Moors. So what's the point? Right? So as I said before, and I actually raised those points. People will make those type of statements. So we have to show. So he's right on time because I don't know if he was listening to me because I actually made the statement that conscious Moors have to show other conscious Moors and unconscious Moors the power of Moorish nationality. By what? Beginning to facilitate national political unity and address the matters of national mass denationalization, European conquest and colonization, and world court. We've been working. Let me stay on this, man. Let me stay on this. We've been working as individuals. So let me stay on this. Let me explain the principle of nationality. We've been working as without a plan of action, without a strategy, and case by case by case by case by case. Let me explain nationality and national principles. I said this a couple weeks ago, but I didn't say this part. A Chinese, how does it work that a Chinese national in France is beaten down by 3 Chinese cops? How does that work where that incident becomes an international incident? How does that work? We're talking about one Chinese now. One little bitty, itty bitty Chinese beaten down by 3 French cops in France. How does that become a world issue? Let me explain how. This is the power of national unity. In the Chinese Constitution is the nationality and national identity of the people belonging to China. Also drafted in the Chinese Constitution is the name of the nation state. When that Chinese national travels to France, he or she wears the Chinese coat, which is the Constitution. He or she is clothed with the Chinese Constitution. So when those French cops are beating down that one Chinese national, they're beating down the Chinese Constitution. It's an offense against the state. It's an attack on Chinese sovereignty. We have to restore that principle. It has not been approached like this. It's been case by case by case by case by case. And the national principles have to be restored. Where it's not case by case by case. They injure one, they injure all, but you have to restore the principle. This is our point of emphasis. This is Shem Malachi Bey's point of emphasis. And it's catching on because it's his point of emphasis. This had not been I'm being straight up. This has not been a point of emphasis. What's the point of emphasis? Case by case by case by case by case by case. You do your own case. You do your own case. That's been the point of emphasis. That's why, brother. All right, I think I did a good job addressing that. All right, so
Yeah, I think you did good, man. It's time for you to go and get some Kinkaliba tea. Family, I want y'all to like, subscribe, share. And I thank you, Brother Abdullah. It was good seeing you on Saturday.
On Saturday, yes, the Nicholas Bookstore.
Mm-hmm. And
Yes.
Desi Whaley said thank you.
All right. Oh, yes, you're welcome.
Mm-hmm. And we'll see y'all tomorrow for the healing. And if you know somebody, there's a brother, I want to bring him on probably Thursday. You know, we got some time, our folks, we got to keep that spirit of Ubuntu and helping each other out when we have challenges. So I didn't get a chance to upload his chat link. I'll wait till, he comes on and say, hey, family, we need a little help over here. We had some dirty Moors. That's a whole nother subject in itself. Dirty Moors. But man, we'll talk about that another time because I gotta get to the laundromat. And
Yes.
you look like you got to get to doing your thing, Abdullah.
Yes.
And catch you next Monday, bro.
All right, peace.
Inshallah. All right. Islam, my brothers and sisters. Thank you for joining us tonight, whether it's now or in the future. I'll close out with some the nice video. Where is it? Scroll right here.
Say often, yes, I am. Supreme shield of protection surrounding me. Yes, I am. Yes, I am remembering all I was born to do. Yes, I am. Take hold of your crystal, which will magnify your I am affirmations at least 600%. If you don't have a pistol, you better have a crystal.